Alissa White-Gluz, born 31 July 1985, is a Canadian vocalist, best known as the lead vocalist of the Swedish melodic death metal band Arch Enemy, and former lead vocalist and founding member of the Canadian metalcore band The Agonist. Her vocal style includes both growling and clean vocals, singing. Although primarily associated with melodic death metal and metalcore, she has appeared as a guest vocalist for power metal, symphonic metal and deathcore bands, notably Camelot, Dellen and Carnifex, and has performed live with Nightwish and Tarja Turunen. Being one of metal's most prominent female figureheads makes Alissa White-Gluz a role model and spokesperson for female fans across the globe. However, it's a role she's more than happy to fill, giving her a platform to discuss not just women's rights, but environmental activism, religious ills, and even the appreciation for a good pop hook.
I think people might have sometimes the wrong impression about metal, just in the sense that they might think that it's just really angry and aggressive and violent, but a lot of the times it's really sophisticated and intelligent.
White-Gluz was born in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, as the second of 3 children. Her grandparents were prisoners in concentration camps during World War II and managed to escape. Their experiences in the camps would go on to inspire the Arch Enemy song, First Day in Hell. In 2004, White-Gluz formed The Agonist, then known as Tempest, with fellow band members Danny Marino and Chris Kells in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. She released 3 albums with them as their lead vocalist.
Subscribe now!
On March 17, 2014, Arch Enemy announced via press release that Alissa would be replacing their former vocalist Angela Gasso. With Arch Enemy, she has released 2 studio albums, War Eternal and Will to Power, and 2 live albums. She has worked with Camelot on a number of occasions. In September and October 2012, she was a guest vocalist for Camelot when they were the supporting act for Nightwish's North American tour. At the Denver show on September 28, 2012, White-Gluz and Elise Reed performed the Nightwish lead vocals live on stage with minimal preparation after Annette Olsen was taken ill. In addition to her music career, White-Gluz also had a voice acting stint where she voiced Swarm Hunter in Video Game Gears 5. As an animal rights activist, Alissa received a Libby Award from PETA for her work in an international campaign advocating against the hunting of Canadian seals.
Started doing music, there was nothing that I wanted to talk about more than animal rights.
About music, she said, "I enjoy classical music. I think it explored a lot of dark sounds and dissonance before rock music. I like the fact that it was frowned upon when they were doing things like the Devil's Note. I'm not classically trained and I don't try to analyze any theory behind it. I just enjoy it and like to listen to it. I really like grunge too, like early 90s Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots and Nirvana. I know a lot of people hate it, but I love the simplicity, the stripped down, honest songs and the mistakes."
Nothing more to bleed.
On Nirvana's live album, for example, "I love hearing the out-of-tune guitars and the cracks in the voice. To me that's charismatic and adds a whole facet to the music that wouldn't be there if it was perfect. I like really good vocalists, for example. Demi Lovato has a fantastic voice. I don't know any of her material apart from one song, and I think she delivered the vocals on it so beautifully I actually went to see her live. I stayed until that one song and left. But I'm not afraid to admit I like a singer who's really nailing the vocal, even if it's on a pop song, like Christina Aguilera or even early Britney Spears. The songwriting there is awesome. It's not something I'll find myself listening to, but I do appreciate the skill in the songwriting and producing a perfect pop product."
Subscribe now, like, and share.
About her political opinion, she said, "For the most part in this band we don't adhere to patriotism in our countries. I personally don't feel any strong attachment to Quebec or Canada because I didn't do anything to live there. I was born there and took no action in moving anywhere else. That's what makes me a citizen of that country, but I didn't earn it, and it's not something I feel I should be particularly proud of. Someone's country doesn't define them as a person in any way. We're all citizens of Earth. I have zero interest in things or people that are over-patriotic. It's silly to be over-patriotic in something you weren't involved in. Obviously, if you did play a part in the situation in the county you're living in, that's why you're patriotic. When you travel so much and you meet so many different people from different countries and cultures who speak different languages, you realize that we're all the same. We can do a meet and greet at a festival with people from all over the world, and we don't know who's from where. We're just having a good time meeting them and bonding over music. That's how it goes in the band too. We're not divided because we're from different countries, and we're not united because of that either. About religion, she said. We're all quite atheist in the band, but I tend to tone it down. As much as it makes my blood boil when I see stupid violent acts being committed around the world caused by stupid violent religion, and the response is stupid violent religion, it does get me going, but I have to watch what I say. I have people in my close circle of friends who are religious, and they're not violent or stupid, and don't believe in what religious fanatics do. I try to be really respectful of others. I really hate religion and am opposed to it, but it doesn't mean I hate religious people or am opposed to them because that's just one aspect that makes up a person. For the most part, religious people I've met are really good people who just have religion for themselves. It helps guide their spirituality and philosophy, comforts their emotions, and that's totally fine. But if I'm surrounded by a bunch of atheists, we can egg each other on and get pretty excited about atheism. Atheism is just a lack of belief, it's not an ideology. I just wish religious ideologies would just stop violently clashing. White-Gluz is in a relationship with Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein, guitarist of the American hardcore band Misfits. She was raised in a family of vegetarians and has been a vegan since 1998. She follows a straight-edge lifestyle. She identifies as an atheist and considers herself opposed to religion, though she noted that it doesn't mean she hates religious people or is opposed to them. She speaks fluent English and French. You are invited to subscribe, share, and like. Thank you.
Subscribe now, like, and share.